In the heart of West Africa lies a tale as old as time itself, a tale of a powerful deity named Ogun, the god of iron. Long before the days of man, the world was ruled by the gods. These celestial beings lived atop Mount Orishan, where they feasted, partied, and made the laws that governed the universe. But among them was a growing discontent. Shango, the god of thunder, and Ogun, the god of iron, were tired of the other gods' laziness. They watched as the humans toiled in the fields and the forests, and they couldn't help but feel a sense of dissatisfaction with their fellow deities. The gods, it seemed, had grown soft, comfortable with their immortality and unconcerned about the struggles of their mortal creations. One day, Ogun decided enough was enough. He approached the other gods with a challenge. "Why do we let humans do all the hard work?" he asked. "Let us put them to rest and take over ourselves." The gods considered this, and some even agreed. So it was decided that every god would rule over one aspect of human life. Ogun got the domain of blacksmithing and metalworking, believing that it was a worthy and noble profession. However, he soon realized that he was wrong. Humans are lazy and slow, Ogun thought to himself. How am I supposed to get them to work? He pondered this for a while until he came up with a plan. He went to the humans and told them that the gods had decided to take over their work and free them from their labors. The humans, overjoyed at the prospect of a life without hard work, readily agreed. Ogun then called upon the other gods and divided their domains among them. And so the era of divine rule began. Humans, now free from the need to work, lazed about all day, doing nothing but eating and sleeping. But this did not last long. Soon the humans began to suffer. Without the satisfaction of a job well done, they grew bored and restless. They missed the sense of purpose that came with working the land and providing for themselves. Ogun saw this and felt a pang of guilt. He had not considered the consequences of his actions, and now the humans were suffering because of it. He went back to the gods and asked if they could let the humans go back to work. At first, the other gods were reluctant, but when they saw how unhappy the humans were, they agreed. Ogun was relieved, but he knew that he had to do more. He could not simply leave the humans to fend for themselves, had to teach them how to make tools and weapons out of iron, so that they could continue to thrive. So Ogun went down to the humans and shared his knowledge of ironworking with them. He showed them how to find the best iron ore and how to smelt it into usable metal. He taught them how to forge and shape the iron into tools and weapons, and how to temper it to make it strong and durable. The humans were eager to learn, and they quickly became skilled iron workers themselves. They used their new skills to create better tools for farming and hunting, and they also made weapons to defend themselves against the dangers of the forest. As the humans flourished, Ogun's status grew. The humans were so grateful for what he had taught them that they began to worship him as a god. They built shrines in his honor and made offerings of food and drink. They celebrated his festivals with dancing and singing, and they told stories of his wisdom and generosity. Ogun was honored by the humans' devotion, but he never forgot where he had come from. He knew that he had been a lazy god, just like the others, and he was grateful that the humans had shown him the error of his ways. He continued to live among them, teaching them the ways of ironworking, and helping them to defend themselves against the dangers of the forest. In fact, it is said that whenever Ogun appeared in human form, he always carried a heavy iron sledgehammer on his shoulders. This was a symbol of his former laziness, a reminder of the days when he had done nothing but eat and sleep on Mount Orisha. One day, a terrible war broke out between two rival human tribes. Both sides were skilled warriors, but they were evenly matched. The fighting was fierce and neither side could gain the upper hand. Ogun watched the battle from afar, and he was saddened by the violence. He had taught the humans the art of ironworking in order to help them survive in the wild, not to use against each other. He decided to intervene and lead one of the tribes to victory. When the warriors saw Ogun approaching, they parted before him. He walked slowly toward the opposing army, carrying his iron sledgehammer in front of him. As he neared the enemy, he raised his hammer and brought it down on the ground with a mighty crash. The earth trembled, and the warriors fell to their knees in fear and awe. Ogun then spoke to them, and his voice boomed like thunder. "Why do you fight?" he asked. "Are you not all children of man? Why do you shed the blood of your brothers and sisters?" The warriors were ashamed to answer. They had been so caught up in their own anger and hatred that they had forgotten the value of human life. Ogun then told them that they were foolish, and that they should lay down their arms and go home. And so the battle ended, not with a bang, but with a whimper. From that day forward, Ogun was revered as a god of war, as well as a god of iron. He was called upon to lead armies into battle and to protect travelers on their journeys. And though he was a god of great power, he was also a god of peace, always trying to find ways to end conflicts and bring people together. But Ogun disappeared for a while. He left his post as the protector of travelers, and his duties as a god of iron and war were taken over by other deities. During his absence, the world suffered greatly. Travelers were attacked and killed on their way to the markets. Crops failed, and famine struck the land. Ogun's worshippers were desperate for his return, for they knew that only he could bring peace and prosperity back to the world. Then one day Ogun reappeared. He had been away for so long that his followers didn't even recognize him at first. But when they heard his booming voice and saw the familiar glint in his eyes, they knew that their savior had returned. Ogun had traveled all over the world during his absence, and he had learned many things. He had seen how other cultures worked, iron, and he had studied their weapons and tools. He had also spent time in the spirit realm, where he had gained new powers and insights. When the people asked him why he had left them, Ogun told them that he had gone away to learn the art of ironsmith. "I have seen the weapons and tools of other cultures," he said, "and I have learned new ways of working iron. I have also gained new powers that will help me to protect you." The people were overjoyed to hear this, and they welcomed Ogun back as their hero. They celebrated his return with feasts and festivals, and they thanked him for coming back to help them. Ogun continued to serve as the god of iron and war, using his new knowledge and powers to help his followers. He taught them how to make better weapons and tools, and he led them to victory in many battles. He also continued to travel the world, always seeking new knowledge and wisdom. To this day, Ogun is worshipped in West Africa as a god of iron, war, and peace. He is a symbol of strength and courage, but also of wisdom and compassion. His story is a reminder that even the most powerful deities can learn from their mistakes, and that even the humblest of mortals can achieve greatness with hard work and dedication. In Nigeria, Ogun is known as the god of iron and technology. He is believed to be the patron of blacksmiths and metalworkers. He is often invoked for protection against accidents and injury. Ogun is also associated with the orishas of thunder and lightning, and he is said to be able to control the weather. Some people even believe that he is the one who causes the thunderstorms that shake the ground. During the annual festival of Oshogbo, which is held in his honor, people come from all over the country to pay homage to him. They carry iron tools and weapons in processions through the streets, and they dance and sing songs in his praise. The highlight of the festival is the Osun-Osogbo River, where people from all walks of life come to meet and greet one another. It is a time for people to renew old friendships and make new ones. It is also a time for people to celebrate their culture and heritage. The festival is a celebration of Ogun, the god of iron, and all that he represents. He is a god of strength, courage, skill, and hard work. He is also a god of peace, and the festival is a reminder of the importance of keeping the peace and resolving conflicts peacefully. And that brings us to today. Ogun is still worshipped in West Africa, and his influence can be seen in many aspects of daily life. For example, in many homes, there is a small shrine dedicated to Ogun, where people make offerings of food and drink and ask for his blessings. Ogun is also invoked before important events, such as a wedding or a funeral. And many people wear amulets or charms that are said to contain Ogun's power. Though Ogun is primarily known as the god of iron, he is also associated with many other things. He is the patron of hunters, and he is often called upon to help protect them from danger. He is also the protector of travelers, and many people pray to him for safe journey. Ogun is also a god of justice, and he is invoked to help right wrongs and punish evildoers. The legacy of Ogun continues to live on in West Africa, and his influence can be seen in the art, music, and literature of the region. He is a central figure in many traditional stories, and his image is often used in carvings and sculptures. Ogun's story is an important part of West African culture, and it teaches valuable lessons about hard work, dedication, and the importance of helping others. Thank you for watching.